Thank you for joining us for our Word of the Day. This morning, as we're continuing through the Bible, I want to look at Isaiah 27, specifically verse number 1. I want to read the verse and then we'll get into the message this morning. The Bible says in 27:1, "In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. In that day sing you unto her a vineyard of red wine. I, the Lord, do keep it. I will water it every moment, lest any hurt it. I will keep it night and day." Now, this verse right here, remember in Isaiah, he's been prophesying about the invasion of the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, but also he's talking about the sin that the world experiences and the pain that we as believers are going to have to endure because of sin in the world. And in verse 27, he starts to give us some hope. He says, in that day, God will destroy Leviathan, that serpent. Now, Leviathan was only mentioned again in Job when Job was talking about the great beasts of the earth. But in this reference, Leviathan represents the devil. Of course, later on in the Bible, the devil is called a serpent. He's called the dragon. And so what God is telling us here is that there's coming a day where he will eliminate not just the devil and our enemy, but he'll conquer all the work of the devil, all the work of the enemy. Look, our world is filled with pain. When you think of things like inequality, like hate crimes that we still struggle with today in our culture, which just boggles my mind, racism, we think of the scourge of human trafficking and drug addiction and just all the wickedness that is in our world. Now, I live in Roanoke, Virginia, and Roanoke, Virginia used to be a pretty safe place to live. But every day when I wake up and I'm reading the news, there's always shootings or stabbings or robberies happening in my city. And as believers, as a church, we have a lot of issues in our city. We have a huge homelessness population. We have a lot of refugees in our country that are fleeing persecution. We do have, unfortunately, some human trafficking in our area, some drug trafficking in our area. And as a church, I try to look at how can we as God's children help with this? How can we be a part of the solution and try to help these things and try to deal with these things? But God tells us right here in Isaiah 27, there's coming a day where we're not going to have to worry about that because he's going to conquer it all. There'll be no more persecution. There'll be no more racism. There'll be no more drug addiction and human trafficking and sex slavery. There'll be no more of this stuff that we struggle with and we deal with on a daily basis because he's going to destroy all of it. He's going to create a new heaven and a new earth where we will live and reign with him for all of eternity. And that's the hope we have as believers, that the world we live in is messed up. Now, that doesn't give us a right to say, well, the world's messed up, I can't do anything about it, I'm just going to do my own thing. No. As believers and as children of God and ambassadors to his kingdom, it is our responsibility to do what we can to get involved in these situations and help ease people's pain and help restore people and help free people from the bondage that they're in. That's our job as children of God. But he says one day, that's not going to be your concern. One day your only concern is going to be worshiping God. And that's a wonderful day. That's a day that we look forward to, that gives us the courage and the hope to continue on in this messed up, broken world that's filled with messed up, broken people, including us, to say, God, right now the world's messed up, right now the world's broken. Lord, I'm messed up and I'm broken. But Lord, one day, there'll be no more pain, there'll be no more sorrow, there'll be no more hurt or anything, Lord. There'll be nothing but joy and peace as we live in your presence forever and worship you forever. That's a great day. I'm looking forward to that day. Hope you are too. Thanks so much for joining us for our Word of the Day. Be sure to be back here tomorrow as we continue through the Bible. Have a blessed day.